Oh boy. Well, I have some good news and I have some bad news. I went out of town for a family vacation. I've been gone for 7 days. And I did the best I could with getting things set up with irrigation and watering. And those things that I couldn't help, I just really tried to water them in very well before I left. And it did rain a few of those days that I was gone. And I was hoping between those two things that would have prevented plants from dying, but I knew that there might be some casualties, and I think that there were. So I had these grow bags. These have various onions and shallots in them, and these actually don't seem to be too bad. This neck is bent over actually. That's a shallot. This neck is pretty much dried out, and this is also bent and soft, so I think I'm going to harvest these. These were supposed to be Zabroon shallots. This isn't doing too well. I'll probably pull that one out, and I don't know, that may be a goner too. This seems to be okay. I might leave that a little while longer, and I'm definitely going to leave that. These were Egyptian walking onions, which seem to be okay. If you're familiar with Egyptian walking onions, they form these bobules, and as they bend, they will bend themselves down to the soil and reroot themselves and grow a whole new set of Egyptian walking onions. And then these were shallots, which are actually doing pretty good, so I'm just going to get those watered. Then we have the strawberry tower. Everything needs a really good water too. So we have some strawberries there. I noticed that the strawberries I got at the beginning of the season were larger. These ones I'm getting are much smaller. I don't know if that's just because it's incredibly hot or what. But we've got a lot of strawberries on here. More than the one or two that I've been, oh, this is a nice size one. More than the one or two that I've been accustomed to picking. And then we have shallots down here. This one, I think this neck is soft. I might start pulling these. I'm not so sure about this. This looks like these are getting some kind of rot on it. I might pull those. But my collard greens, oh my word. Let's see. This neck is still firm, so I'm going to leave that. There's one hiding in here. Those are still firm. Wow, do you hear the crunchiness? Oh my goodness, look at this onion down here. That is completely dried out. I'm just going to pull that out. Look at this collard green. Now these leaves here in the center, they look good, but all these other leaves, they're goners. So, but this plant is actually salvageable. It just, like everything, needs a really good water. Then we have some more shallots. Oh, my carrots that I had down there in that pocket, those are probably... So, this was radicchio. That is definitely a goner. And we already knew that the arugula was more than likely a goner, but I see that my arugula has gone to seed, and these are the seed pods. Why is this not focusing? Okay, and these are seed pods, arugula seed pods. So I'm actually going to save these. Well, let them mature, and that way I won't need to buy any arugula seeds. This was the baby bear pumpkin. And let's see. Something has attached itself where it doesn't belong. Oh, that's that. Wow. And then we had onions. The neck is definitely soft and broken, so I'm going to need to harvest that. Look at this onion. Look at that. And these were my Minnesota midget melons. I don't see any, oh yes, I do see baby melons. Look. So if you recall, I left the cover off of these. There we go. I left the cover off of these because these flowers are just so tiny. And in terms of trying to hand pollinate, it's difficult. I mean, you can do it, I've done it, but it's just difficult. So I decided to leave the cover off and let nature do the pollination on these this year. But as you can see, this is the vine for that. So I'm just going to help this along and start wrapping it around. Oh, sorry. People are trimming trees around here. Help this along and wrap it around the GreenStalk plant support. And these little tendrils, what I do is I just help it out. These little tendrils, if you don't know, they're sticky. And they use these like little fingers to attach to things, to trellises, to other plants, to gain some support. We've got more onions. They're looking really good. Those are looking really good. Let's see down here. So down here we had, this was the Tigger melon. This was the Tigger melon, and that has wrapped itself on the plant support that I had intended for the baby sugar watermelon. I'm sorry for all the movement. So I'm just going to, I separated them. And it's okay to snap the tendril. So I've separated them, and I'm just wrapping it on the plant support that I had planned for it to be attached to. And again, I am just taking the tendril. I'm trying to take the tendril and wrap it around, and it will get the idea. And then down below we had this is the sugar baby watermelon. So same thing. Just gonna try to get it started, wrapping around the plant support. Wow, what is this? Oh my goodness. So if you see, I had a sugar baby watermelon plant down below, but then there's also this Minnesota midget up above. And it looks like the Minnesota midget has attached itself to the sugar baby watermelon with those tendrils. Those tendrils are no joke. Oh my goodness. So I'm just going to separate these two plants and get them wrapped around the supports that they were intended for. This is another sugar baby watermelon. These are all male flowers. I don't see any female flowers on here. But again, we're going to get this so that it could start. So this was the collard green tower. And as you can see, this really took a beating while I was gone. The sun was intense. We had some 90s, in the 90s temps. Now some of these will come back, they just need water. But others of these are just you can hear the crunch. Oh my gosh. Now, luckily I was starting new collard greens anyway for the fall, because what I find is by the end of the spring season, these plants, the stalks tend to get a bit rubbery and the production kind of starts to slow down. So I usually start another round of seeds for fall plants, and then I have collard greens into the fall right in through Thanksgiving season. So the Vigo bed, my goodness, I don't know where to begin. It is so full. See, I've got onions in here that are bulbing. More bulbing onions. I believe these are Elsa Craigs. More bulbing onions there. And this is a Brussels sprout. I believe these are the baby Brussels sprouts. Finally coming in on each of these. I'm so excited for that. Yeah, with some Zabroon. That's either Zabroon shallot down there or this purpley. I'm not sure what it's called. I'll have to look it up. But something has gone to flower. Now, how did this happen? Interesting. In here. And my purple sprouting broccoli is still not sprouting. But the burgundy sprouting broccoli, it knew the assignment. It did not come to play. Now, I didn't recall planting a broccoli plant in here unless this is the purple sprouting broccoli, but as you can see, that's about to go to flower, so we're just gonna go ahead and snap that off. This was not meant to be a harvesting video. I just was trying to come out here and see how everything was looking. Now, on the other side of that same raised bed, this is interesting. All of these onions were standing tall when I left, but now they're all laid over. So I don't know if there was a storm and the wind came and just knocked them over or what. But over the course of the week, I think I'm going to see if these will get any bigger, and if not, I think I might start pulling the bigger onions just to start clearing some things out of here and giving things a bit more space. But you can see we've got, you know, nice onion there, nice onion there, there. But I will admit it is rather cramped in here. So next year I will reassess my planting plan in terms of height and where I plant short and tall. Now, I did notice that my turnips I have turnips. They're bulbing. Ooh, and one is split. Yeah, that one is, if I can zoom in, that one is split, so I'm gonna go ahead and pull that. I've never grown turnips before. This is my very first one. But I'm not so sure that we can eat this. It looks like it's rotted. And like I said, it's split. We have a few more that are trying to come along. It's hard to get in here to show you. Now in my other Vigo bed, again, something, and I believe it's a slug, is in here, and it's leaving poop. All these little piles of dark, it's not dirt, it's poop. And to do it while I was gone, and bolt, and my cabbages that were pristine and had no holes in them are now riddled in holes. Riddled with holes rather, sorry. But my giant Marconi peppers are doing their thing, but something has been chewing at those as well. The garlic before I left, so this is where the garlic scape was, and most of these have 9 leaves, So I have, for example, if I look at this one, I have 3 dead leaves at the bottom. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 leaves in total. I read that you should wait until like half of the leaves are dead. But you know, I'm curious. Curiosity killed the cat. And I wonder if I pull one that has the most dead foliage. What will that look like? Of course, I did not come out here with any tools of any kind because, again, I was not coming out here to harvest. I was just coming out here to look. Wow, look at the roots. But that is garlic with actual cloves. Wow, that's amazing. All right, I'm not going to pull any others because I want them to grow bigger. I can see that something is bolting in the back there. In the back there, I've got carrots, beets, radishes, and something has gone to seed. That's okay. We're kind of out of the radish season anyway, but they just take so long to grow for me. I see other people growing these huge radishes and they grow so quickly for them. But for me, they take forever. Now, I'm not sure if you can really see this. These are my tomato plants. See how those did? I know one thing that grew very well while I was gone, and that would be weeds. So really need to come out here and get some weeds pulled. I don't see any little tomatoes on those, but I do need to get them clipped to the trellis, get these suckers while I'm out here. Now on this plant, I had some tomatoes. These are the banana legs. I'm not sure if you can see that, but I've got a truss with 1, 2, 3, 4 tomatoes on it. Can you see that? Yeah. And those are the banana legs tomatoes from my gardener. Let's see. I got some flowers on this one. This would be my ox heart. I think the ox heart tomato is so pretty. I don't have any actual tomatoes yet, but I do have flowers. So the tomatoes are right around the corner. This is another ox heart. And I see the weeds have found that there's sunlight and sustenance inside the grow bag. So now they're trying to vine into my grow bags. They're so rude. Then this was a blue beech. Now I don't have any tomatoes on it, but I do have flowers. This blue beech was the one that an animal came and ate, and it was already the runt of my tomato plants to begin with. I do have some starter tomato plants that I never planted out. Although they're determinate, I'm just going to stick one in there just to not waste the space. And this one is, this is San Marzano. No tomatoes, but I do have a few flowers. Help to pollinate. Another San Marzano, same thing, no tomatoes, but I do have flowers, so let's get them going. Whatever this is, has flowers, but no tomato. Oh yeah, look, we do got tomato. We got 2 tomatoes. But what was this? This was, a pisano. And this is the mortgage lifter. I feel like something has bit off the top of that, but I don't see any hornworms out here. And this one was, what was it? It was another pisano. So for the first time, I have cauliflower. And ironically, this cauliflower was supposed to be in my raised bed. I made a mistake and put it in my GreenStalk. I did not want it in my GreenStalk because I already have 1 cabbage in each tier of this GreenStalk, which gets to be pretty big, takes up a lot of space soil-wise, and so does cauliflower. So I didn't want to have 2 big plants with big root systems competing for the soil nutrients. But so I thought that was a cauliflower, but apparently, I thought it was a broccoli, but apparently it was a cauliflower. So then that explained why I had a broccoli in my raised bed that I was confused as to why it was there. And then next door to this is the bell pepper GreenStalk. In the top I have my Tiny Tom tomatoes. These I think didn't get enough water while I was gone because the skin looks a little shriveled. I don't know what that's all about, but I just gave everything a really deep water. And as you can see, I've got plenty of bell peppers coming. This is a purple bell pepper, but this does not look like a bell pepper shape. This looks more like a hot pepper. So I don't know, maybe I received the wrong seeds, like it was mislabeled. The package definitely said bell pepper. Here's some more. These actually have 2. Got another one down there, over there, and all around the GreenStalk. I don't want to spin it because I've got it all situated. And then in the bottom here, I've got 2 Corinto cucumber plants that are trellising along the plant support from GreenStalk. And they grew so much, they actually wrapped around my potato plants. I had to separate them and retrain them on the plant support. And there's lots of baby cucumbers. We got one there, and there's more all around. The thing that's nice about these cucumber is that they don't need to be pollinated. I forget the scientific term, but these are self-pollinating cucumbers. Had a flower that fell off there. So they can grow in a greenhouse. They can grow under cover, under netting. You don't have to worry about pollinators being able to get in to pollinate your cucumbers, which is awesome. I like growing things that way. They do have zucchini, and I do believe might even be a squash that can grow in a greenhouse or under cover so that you don't have to pollinate it, but haven't tried that yet. And then my mini GreenStalk tower. This is just the other half of I bought an extra pink, or what is it called, cherry blossom leaf tower, and half of it is on another GreenStalk and the other half of it is here. So I have Melon, which I hear is really good for people who have breathing issues like asthma, and over here I have stevia, which is supposed to be a natural sweetener. So I'm very excited to grow this year and learn to process that and have my own natural organic sweetener. And then down here I have various squash and zucchini. I have 2 zucchini, 2 squash per tier, and I want to put more because again, I'm concerned about the root system. And in empty pockets I put things like basil. I might throw some carrots in here since my carrots in the front died from the heat and it didn't get enough water while we were gone. And one thing I wanted to show you is, again, this Bossa Nova. Is that it down there? It's this Bossa Nova zucchini. I grew this last year. I was so impressed with the zucchini. I'm growing it again, and I think I'm going to go start another couple more plants because this is the female fruit. It flowered while I was gone. I hope and pray that it got pollinated. Again, last year I grew all my squash and zucchini under netting and hand pollinated. But this time I just really wanted to have the experience of walking out and being able to pick a squash or a zucchini that I didn't have to come out and do a chore in the morning with. So this year I'm experimenting with leaving the cover off. Also, the stevia and the mullein get really tall, and so it would be very, very cumbersome to have a netting over this short little tower. So I've just given this a good water. Now this did pretty good while I was gone, but where this is, it's more shady. It's a little cooler as opposed to where the other GreenStalks were that just got completely annihilated by the harsh sun. My poor babies. And then over here are my Indeterminate tomatoes, except for those 2 on the tall trellis, which are Indeterminates. And even though these were on a water resist, I have irrigation going to these. I maybe didn't have it going often enough, like frequently enough. And they seemed dry, so I've just given everything a good water out here. Got lots of tomatoes on these. This one is Gold Nugget. And you see we've got some gold nuggets. Everything now is either flowering heavily or has sizable tomatoes on it. Like we've got tomatoes there and there. This, which one is this? Where's my tag? This is a Shelby from Haas Tools, growhaas.com, I think that's what it is. Another Shelby, and you can see it's got tomatoes, got green tomatoes there. So everything did pretty well while I was gone. I need to tie everything up to their supports because they've outgrown their supports. And this bag, if you recall, was where I had that okra plant that wasn't doing very well. Oh, my basil is trying to go to seed. Pinch that out, pinch that out. And remember, I switched that out with an eggplant. And now I've got an eggplant right there. So this is what I was saying, was this was a much better use of this 5-gallon grow bag. It's a little dirt. And what ended up happening with that okra, that plant just finally gave out. It's completely died. I ended up having to compost it. So that's how everything fared while we were gone. Next, I'll be posting a harvesting video. Thanks for watching.